Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm a few minutes late getting started today. This is our story time from Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm Marcy Bowman. Today, we are telling stories about our fifth principle. And Roy G. Biv, let's see if we've got a blue. We do. The light blue stick tells us it's fifth principle, and my hint on the back says all people have a vote. So, I have just a few books in my possession that were good for this theme, although I can post a list for you of the other list of books that I have. So, good morning, Barbara. I'm glad you got here. I was a little late getting started. So, in the Splat the Cat series, there is this one called The Big Helper. And in this story, Splat needs to make some decisions for himself. He needs to decide if it's a good idea for him to follow the rules of the house. So, cute story. All the Splat the Cats are fun, but that's one that kind of fits the fifth principle. The other book that I'm going to read, the one I'm going to read today, is What Should Danny Do? And this is a 9-in-1 storybook where the listeners help to make some decisions about how the story will go. So I see that we've got a couple people on with us. I hope that you will chime in and give me your opinion on what choices Danny should make. So this book is all about choices and making your own decisions, which is really strongly emphasizing the fifth principle. So let's get started. And when I pause, if you have an opinion about which way Danny should choose to go, I want you to type it in the chat box for me. Okay. What Should Danny Do by Ganit and Adir Levy. It starts, Hi, my name is Danny. My favorite things in the whole world are soccer, superheroes, and ninjas. I also love skateboards, but I don't have one yet. You may be wondering why I'm wearing a cape. So I'll let you in on my secret. I'm a superhero in training. That means I have some superhero powers, but I'm still working on the rest. For example, I jump super high. I run super fast. And I have super muscles. And even though I can't fly just yet, I'm still working on it. Daddy says that my most important superpower of all is the power to choose. With this power, I can change my day by changing my choices. He even gives me the coolest cape so that I won't forget. Today is a special day because you'll be making choices for me. When you get to the start of the day, when you get to the end of the day, you can start over and make different choices. And then we'll see if the power of choice really does change my day. Let's see what that means. Do I smell pancakes? I love pancakes. I zoom downstairs. Chocolate chip pancakes, I yell. But then I see my brother, Charlie. He's eating from our ninjutsu ninja plate, and that plate is my favorite. I want the ninja plate, I say. I know you love that plate, Mommy says, but Charlie's already eating from it, and she puts 2 pancakes in front of me, but they're on an alphabet plate. I already know my alphabet. So here's the picture. Look how happy one kid looks and how grumpy one kid looks. Charlie's the happy one. All right, so it's time for you to help me make a choice. What should Danny do? The choices are eat the pancakes that are on the alphabet plate, and it tells me what page I'll go to then, or yell until he gets the ninja plate, and then it tells me what page to go to on that. So if you're here live with us right now, go ahead and type in the comment page. What do you think Danny should do? Should he go ahead and eat from the alphabet plate, or should he have a little fit? Anybody have an opinion? Help me choose. Anybody have an opinion? What should we do? Should Danny have a fit or go ahead and eat the pancakes? I'm going to go with he's going to have a little fit. So I'm going to go to page 16. I yell, I stomp, I scream. No fair! I want the ninja plate, I say. That isn't helping. See what happened there? He pushed things away. Everything went spilling. So I pushed the alphabet plate away from me. My super muscles are so strong that the plate zooms into the pitcher of orange juice. Oops, it spills everywhere. Orange juice on the table, orange juice on the floor, orange juice on my pancakes. Yuck. Mommy hands me a towel. Great. Now my pancakes are ruined and I have to clean up the mess. Wiping up the juice takes forever, and now I'm stuck with cereal. Cereal doesn't charge my super muscles like pancakes do. I finish eating, and I see Charlie playing with our new race car set. I wanted to race the cars. Charlie licks his fingers loudly with a smirk on his face. I think he's making fun of me for not getting pancakes. All right, here's another choice. What should Danny do? Should he knock the race car set down or find a way to play with Charlie? If you've got a suggestion for me, go ahead and type it into the chat box. I think Charlie's pretty angry. Would he knock over the race car set? Or is he going to try and play with his brother? What do you think? Let's see if I can find the right pages while you're answering me. Okay. Looks like we're going to go with he knocked down the race car set. Oh my goodness. So I summon my super strength and yell, hi-ya! Boom, crash, the track breaks into pieces. Sorry, Tisha. Mommy comes into the living room. What happened here, she asks. Danny kicked it down, Charlie cries. I was planning on taking you to the park, but now you'll have to be staying home to think about how you've behaved, she says. Please clean up this mess, boys. Cleaning up toys I didn't even play with is no fun. And I don't get to play soccer at the park. After lunch, Charlie is playing with the new Jitsu Ninja video game. I want to play, I tell him. Wait until I finish this game, he says. I wait and wait and wait for like 1,000 minutes. You're taking too long. Let me play, I say as I reach for the controller. I'm not done yet, Charlie yells. He elbows my hand away. Here's another time to make a decision. What should Danny do? Wait until Charlie is done with his game or grab the controller out of Charlie's hands? Let me know what you think. Which way should Danny behave? Let's see. Okay, who's got an opinion for us? Wait until Charlie's done with his game or grab the controller out of his hands? Well, I think this time, Danny's learned his lesson. So we're going to go with the wait for his turn. All right. Charlie looks so sad. Oh, I have the wrong page. Sorry. Oh, page 64. Sorry, that didn't make sense. Here we go. When Charlie's done, I get my chance to play. I get a new high score, 143,698. Beat that, Charlie. We take turns playing until our screen time limit is up. Later, I grab my Frisbee and find a new way to zoom down the stairs. Oh my goodness. Where are we? Look at him zooming down the stairs. Frisbee in his mouth and he's riding on the railing. Oh dear. I want to play fetch with Oreo. But when I get outside, Charlie is already playing with him. Hey, I want to play with Oreo, I say. Well, too bad, Charlie sneers. I got here first, so you can't play with him. So it looks like Oreo is the dog. And you know, Charlie has been pretty nice up to now, but that wasn't a nice way to respond, was it? So what should Danny do? Should he push Charlie down? Or should he find a way that they can play with Oreo together? What do you think? Who's going to respond to me today? Let's see. Push him down or play together? Danny's got all these choices to make, doesn't he? Okay, we're going to go with, he's learned his lesson and he's going to see if he can play with his brother, with the dog. I come up with a game I think Charlie would like. Want to play monkey in the middle with Oreo? I ask. He thinks for a while. Okay, he says, but I get to throw first. And I hand him the Frisbee. After a few throws, Oreo flies super high and catches it. I think my superpowers are rubbing off on him. Maybe he should get a cake too. Daddy comes outside to play. He throws the Frisbee all the way across the yard. Charlie and Oreo run to find it. How was your day, Danny? He asks me. I tell him everything that happened. Could you have used your power to choose to improve your day? He asks. I think. Maybe I would have gone to the park and done Maybe I would have gone to the park and done some other fun things if I made better choices. Yes, Daddy, I say. He smiles and gives me a hug, and I can tell he is proud that I understand my own power to choose. So this book, there's so many different ways that you can read the story, and there are several of these in this series. This is the only one that Valley UU owns, but I really like the idea of being able to choose the different options to come to a different ending in the story. Okay, so I have for you now a story I want to tell you, and I think I need to move my camera a little bit so that you can see it down here on my board. How's that? Pretty good. Okay. Let's sit on a pillow though. So this story takes part in a country in Africa called Ghana. And it starts with a man who has 7 sons. Look at all those boys. After the death of his wife, the man became both father and mother to these boys. The brothers were all handsome young men, strong, straight bones. Their skin was as smooth and as dark as the finest mahogany wood. But they were a disappointment to their father. From morning until night, in the small family home, there was nothing but arguing and bickering and fighting going on. Soon as the sun brought forth another day, the brothers began to quarrel. They argued all morning about how to tend the crops. Where are those brothers? Here they are. They argued all afternoon about the weather. It's hot, said the middle son. No, a cool breeze is blowing, said the second son. They argued all evening about when to return home. It'll be dark soon, said the youngest. Let's finish this row and begin new tomorrow. No, it's too early to stop, said the third son. Can't you see the sun is setting, said the sixth son. And so it continued, until the moon beamed down and the stars twinkled in the sky. At mealtime, the young men argued until the stew was cold and their fufu was hard. You gave him more than you gave to me, whined the third son. I divided the food equally, said the father. I will starve with only this small portion on my plate, complained the youngest one. Well, if you don't want it, I'll eat it, said the oldest, and he grabbed a handful of meat from his brother's plate. Stop being so greedy, said the youngest. And so it went, every night. It was often morning even before the brothers could finish their dinner. And then one sad day, the father died, and he was buried. At sunrise, the village chief called the 7 brothers before him. And he said, your father has left an inheritance. Oh, the brothers were excited about that. But guess what? They started to argue again. Well, I know that my father left me everything because I'm the oldest, said the oldest one. I know he left me everything because I'm the youngest, said the youngest one. He left everything to me, said the middle one, because I was his favorite. Said the second son, everything will be mine. The brothers began shouting and shoving, and soon all 7 of them were like rolling on the ground, covered with dust, hitting and kicking each other. And the chief said, stop this instant. The brothers stopped fighting, and they shook the dust off their clothes, and they sat down before the chief, because he was eyeing them very suspiciously. Your father has decreed that all of his property and all of his possessions will be divided equally among you, said the chief. But first, by the time the moon rises tonight, you must learn how to make gold out of spools of thread. Oh, spools of thread. Let me get the spools of thread out. Okay. And if you don't do this, you will be turned out as beggars. So here we have the 7 brothers, and the chief is going to give them each a spool of thread. Blue to the oldest, red to the second, yellow to the third, orange to the 4th or middle son, green to the next one, black to number 6, and white to number 7. From this moment forward, the chief said, you must not argue amongst yourselves or raise your hands in anger towards one another. If you do, your father's property and all of his possessions will be divided equally among the poorest villagers. The brothers were speechless. Go forth, said the chief, for you have little time. Well, when the brothers arrived back at their farm, they had to stop and think. And something unusual happened. They sat side by side without saying anything unkind to each other, without hurting each other. My brothers, said the oldest one, let us shake hands and make peace amongst ourselves. The youngest brother said, let us never argue or fight again. So the brothers all placed their hands together and held each other tightly. For the first time in years, peace rested within the walls of their home. My brothers, said the 3rd son, surely our father would not turn us out into the world as beggars. I agree, said the middle son. There he is. I do not believe that our father would have given us a task of turning this thread into gold if it was impossible. Could it be, said the oldest, that there's gold inside these threads? And the sun beamed hotly over their heads and everything seemed to shine. But as they held up the thread and looked into it, they could see there was no gold in there. I'm afraid not, said the 6th brother. That was a good idea. Well, thank you, my brother, said the oldest one. Could it be, said the youngest one, that by making something from this thread, we could earn a fortune in gold? Well, perhaps, said the fourth one, we could make cloth out of this thread and sell it. I believe that we could do that. That's a good plan, said the youngest one, but we don't have enough thread to make cloth out of each of these colors. What if, said the third brother, what if we put all the threads together and make a cloth of many colors? Well, as you've noticed, the brothers are either wearing green or black. Nobody is wearing mixed color fabric. It's all solid one color. So the sixth brother said, you need to remember that our people don't wear cloth like that. They only wear cloth of a single color. Maybe, said the second brother, we could make a cloth so special that everyone would want it, even if it's a bunch of different colors together. The sixth brother said, I think we could all work together and finish it up in time and make this happen. Well, I know we could succeed, said the fifth brother. So they all got to work, and they used their thread wisely by making a loom. They cut the wood to make the loom, and the younger brothers held it together while the older brothers tied it. And soon they had a loom, and they took turns weaving their thread into cloth. They made a pattern of stripes and shapes that looked like wings of birds. They used all of the colors, blue, red, yellow, orange, green, black, and white. And soon the brothers had beautiful cloths. Look at those colors in there. And they found baskets around their house, and they put the cloth into the baskets. Roll it up nicely, put it in the basket. They had a basket for each brother, which they put on their heads and walked into the village, heading towards the marketplace. This is our marketplace. And as soon as they arrived here, they started to yell to people, come see the beautiful cloth made of multicolors, the most beautiful cloth in the world. And they unfolded some of the cloth and laid it out for people to see. And a crowd gathered around them. Never seen cloth so beautiful, said one villager. Look at the patterns in that. Finest fabric in the land. Feel this texture, said another. The brothers smiled proudly. And soon a magnificently dressed man pushed his way through the crowd. Everyone stepped back very respectfully. It was the king's treasurer. He rubbed a piece of cloth between his hands, and then he held it up to the sunlight. What a thing of beauty, he said. This cloth will make a wonderful gift for the king. I must have it all. The seven brothers whispered together. Cloth fit for a king, said the oldest. This should be paid at a price that only a king could afford. It's all yours, sir, for a bag of gold. Sold, said the king's treasurer. He untied his bag of gold and he dropped the gold down and took the cloths away. The seven brothers ran out of the marketplace, back down the road to their village. They were so excited. The shining silver moon started to creep up into the sky, and they came upon the chief. They were panting with sweat. The brothers threw themselves down. "Oh, chief," said the oldest, "we have turned the thread into gold." And he placed the gold before him. "Have you argued or fought today?" asked the chief. "No, my chief," said the youngest. "We've been too busy working together to argue or fight." "Then you have learned the lesson that your father sought to teach you," the chief said. "All that he had is yours now." The brothers smiled happily, but the youngest son looked sad. "What about the poor people in the village?" he asked. "We will receive an inheritance, but what will they do?" "Perhaps," said the oldest son, "we can teach them how to turn thread into gold." The chief smiled. "You have learned your lesson very well. And soon the 7 brothers were teaching the people carefully. The village became famous for its beautiful multicolored cloth, and the villagers prospered. From that day until this, the brothers worked together farming the land, and they have worked peacefully in honor of their father. So I hope you've enjoyed this story, and I hope you enjoyed reading about Danny and helping me make choices. I'll see you later this week on Thursday for our activities. Have a great week. Stay safe.